You're with the news first, taking a look at other local stories now. Opposition parliamentarians Anuruddha Kumar Dissanayaka and Dr. Harsha De Silva expressed views regarding the tax imposed on vehicles.
वाहन दाहनमय कानून आने करला තිබෙනවා Lamborghini racing car දෙකයි Porsche racing car.
Orders were placed to import cars before the budget, aware that the taxes will be reduced in the budget. We don't know whether that is also a problem with the conscience. 19 vehicles have been imported, including 2 Lamborghini cars, 1 Porsche, 1 Aston Martin, 1 Nissan Fairlady, 1 Honda Civic, as well as 13 Etios racing cars. The value of the shipment when it arrived at the Colombo harbour was 93,306,272 rupees. Then we raised the question as to from where the Carlton Sports Club received money to bring down cars worth 93,300,000 rupees. I have the original clearance bill of all 13 vehicles. If vehicles are imported for a Chinese project, when the project concludes, the vehicles should be taken back within 6 months. Then there will be no charge. This is the loophole used by the Carlton Sports Club.
එතකොට මේක නිදහස් වෙනවා. හැබැයි දැන් මේ කාල්ටන් ක්‍රීඩා සමාජයේ රින්ග්වේ ඔන්න ඔය නීතිය.
දැන් පෙට්‍රෝල් වල ගාණ වැඩි කරනවා. එතකොට මේ බජට් එක ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා කරපු වෙලාවේ මම කිව්වා
Petrol prices have been increased. I said when the budget was presented that it was for 1% of the population of the Carlton Sports Club. This budget stated that a 100% tax waiver will be given for some sports, some chosen TV channels and for some sponsors. Then who sponsored these races? The sponsorship money goes to the Carlton Sports Channel.
අනුග්‍රහය කරන මුදල් කාටද යන්නේ? ඒ මුදල් යන්නේ කාල්ටන් මේ රූපවාහිනී නාලිකාවට.
Motor vehicle registrations have seen a 71% drop last month. Data released by the central bank indicates that when compared to last year, 17,354 less vehicles were registered in the first 11 months of this year compared to last year.
According to the latest data released by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, there is a 44.8% decrease in vehicle registrations this November compared to last November. Even though 4,968 vehicles were registered in the month of November last year, only 1,406 vehicles were registered last month. The data from the central bank reveals that while the registration of vehicles used to transport goods, such as lorries, saw a decrease of 60%, dual-purpose vehicle registration saw a decrease of 55%. The registration of new buses in the month of November saw a decrease of 42%. Meanwhile, the registration of motorbikes and three-wheelers has also seen a significant decrease last month. Even though 23,604 motorbikes were registered during November 2011, this figure has decreased to 12,205 last month. Meanwhile, even though 11,873 three-wheelers were registered during the month of November last year, that figure had plummeted to 3,835 last month.
Newspaper cartoon of the day.
Of January 2012 to 30th of October 2012. Number of reported fatal accidents 1,860. Number of accidents resulting in severe injuries 5,886. Number of accidents resulting in minor injuries 12,034. Number of accidents which caused only damage 15,088. Total number of reported accidents 34,868. Death toll in the first 10 months 1,961. Where does the problem lie? Isn't it the duty of all motorists to respect traffic laws?
An infant and 2 others fell victim to a fire at a house located in Golumadama, Ratmalana this morning. 2 children and their mother died in the fire that occurred in their room.
It was reported that the father was asleep in a different room when the fire occurred, killing his wife and both his children who were asleep in the house. Sachitana Sandamali, mother of the 2 children, is a primary school teacher of Prince of Wales College. Following the magisterial inquiry, the 3 bodies were taken for the post-mortem examination to the Colombo Teaching Hospital. This is the bedroom in which this tragic incident occurred. It is seen that only the middle portion of the 2 beds have been burnt in the fire. The police said that they cannot arrive at a conclusion without first obtaining the report of the government analyst and electrical engineers. Their father tried to save them. He tried many times to go in, but he could not. That is when I came to help him. I also tried to go in a few times, but could not. I was fainting. Later 2 policemen came. They also tried to save them, but they too were not able to. We then went from the other side and broke the window. We put in a water hose and managed to douse the fire. It is when the smoke reduced that the policeman said it was too late to save them. A similar incident took place at a house in Kuliapitiya recently. The mother and her child died in a fire in their room while the father was sleeping in a different room in the house.
General Secretary of the Citizens Front, Parliamentarian J. Sriranga, states that only government statistics are relied upon and that governments do not want to accept that they are failing to serve the people. He expressed these views at the South, Southwest, North and Central Asia Parliamentarians and CSO Forum on Millennium Development Goals, Acceleration and the Post-2015 Development Agenda. The forum was held in Dhaka, Bangladesh recently.
We are representing the area called Lurelia. But when I see the Sri Lankan race, everything is put in order. But if you go practically in the electorate, the nutrition is very low level and poverty level is very low level. We only rely on the government statistics. So all the succeeded government, they are going to say they are doing better health, better education, better nutrition and everything. They are not going to accept when they are ruling, they are going to fail to serve for the people. So I think you should involve civil societies and opposition MPs to get the real statistics, because when I am seeing the Sri Lanka also, what is the statistics was shown as a country, it is not happening with my elected area.
You know, this was again another good illustration of the way in which the MDG averages, the statistical averages, often presented belie the differentiation, you know, between different districts, different regions, different groups in the country, and coming from Nuarelia, I can understand this issue, and I think this brings us back to the point many people have made in all of the sessions about the need for disaggregated data. But I would like to take that one step further, and I think that is that the statistical models, the indicators and the statistical models we use behind the next set of development goals should be much more comprehensive, not reliant only on government sources of data, administrative sources of data, which we know can be subject to both capacity constraints, but also, political pressures.
If we are to take these issues forward for the next level, we need to include and strengthen the Dhaka Declaration to address squarely issues of corruption. And I think you also underscored the need for stronger rule of law, which is actually here in the declaration, but we need to frame that to respond specifically to issues of corruption that we may want to focus on in the Dhaka Declaration.
And up next is a look at Action TV.
Excluding the funds provided by the Treasury for daily expenses including salary payments and for capital needs, NARA could also earn an income by providing advisory services for projects carried out by government and non-government organizations. It is necessary to publicize a comprehensive report on the accounts regarding the income earned in that manner as soon as the advisory service is completed for the benefit of NARA employees. During its 30-year history, the highest income earned by NARA through advisory services was by providing advisory services for the Colombo Port Expansion project. Even though this advisory service concluded on the 31st of December last year, until last Tuesday, a majority of employees of NARA were only aware that over 66 million rupees was earned through the project and not about what happened to that money. Before distributing the profits as stated by the chairman, a situation arose where the payment of the balance to the employees at NARA who directly contributed in providing advisory services could not be further delayed. The decision made last Thursday to pay in advance of the balance payment was also withdrawn as the head of finance at NARA who signed for the payments had not reported to work in order to obtain an explanation on how the advance was calculated. In a backdrop where the said official did not report to work on Friday and left office as soon as he reported to work today, the advance of the payments to be made have been swept under the carpet. According to the Treasury, the advisory services provided by NARA in connection to the Colombo Port Expansion project is considered as completed. Accordingly, not only the payments which should be made to the employees who are directly connected to it, but distributing profits among all employees too should be completed. However, by today, the total balance of the 3 operating accounts of NARA, which is under the supervision of the Auditor General, does not exceed 8 million rupees.
You're with the news first. That was a look at Action TV. The Court of Appeal decided today that the writ petition filed by former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca with regard to his parliamentary seat will be taken up for hearing next March.
Thereby, the petition will be debated on the 19th and 21st of March next year. The writ petition was taken up by Court of Appeal attorneys Sisira Diabru and Sunil Rajapaksa. Former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca commented on the examination of the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice.
The Minister of External Affairs has stated that if a Commonwealth committee decided to conduct an investigation, the committee would receive their support. The Minister has accepted that there is external influence from other nations. It shows that they have to now give details about proceedings to foreign nations. We are members of the Commonwealth of Nations and this clearly shows that they cannot tolerate our actions. If there is an assault on the sovereignty of the nation, then why do we remain as members of the Commonwealth? If you say that, then leave the Commonwealth. They cannot do it. When something happens, our rulers go to these countries to beg.